Sure.
Oh, there it is. Got it. Welcome, Game 14. Loopers for Life. Been about probably about 2 weeks since we've been in the studio.
It hadn't been 5 weeks.
No, I was going to say 5 days, but it really hasn't been 14 days. It's been about 10 days. 2 weeks. A lot of things have happened in the golf world, but excited to be back in studio here for Game 14, powered by Talgrace Marketing and Media. What a fantastic studio. Check out there on their website. Look them do a lot of marketing, and not just in the podcast world. Just in the web world.
So I wanted to mention that. So one of the things that we do that's kind of interesting is we can do some really targeted social marketing. So like if you have a certain demographic that you want to get your eyeballs in front of, let's say that you're a
golfer, like the Golf Academy.
Well, exactly.
Right.
And then we can go. The thing that's cool about what we can do is we can target somebody that was actually on a golf course that previous week.
Right.
Whether you know it or not, Facebook's following you around. And so
sure.
it knows where you've been. So I can say, hey,
I'm in trouble.
I want somebody that has set foot, and you know what? And I'll take Joey out. So I don't want anybody that's been on French Lick, or I don't want anybody that's been on a certain course. We can crazy target that kind of stuff. So it's kind of
well, I know you do a fantastic job for us and all of our platforms and our social media, and we're very fortunate at the Golf Academy to have a partnership with you, and then just parlay it into the Loopers for Life.
Sure.
And get my co-host and great friend here, Joey Sears.
Yeah, I wasn't so worried about being on a golf course. It was more like the rustic frog.
Is Rustic Frog still around?
Yeah, this guy and his Olympic
pole
sports.
dancing.
Yeah,
I mean, come on. Why can't we
he's-
get pole dancing in the Olympics?
He's looking for Olympic sports.
Have you seen how talented those girls are?
I've got a Rustic Frog story. Should we tell that?
No,
We probably shouldn't tell that.
That is at the end of the thing. I mean, the last time we were on air, we were fortunate enough to have the Monday Q info guy,
Yeah.
and Ryan was fantastic guest and really kind of gave us some insight into the Barbasol and everything that has happened in golf in Kentucky. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on. He actually went and caddied for a Kentucky guy, Billy Tom Sargent,
yes.
at the 3M Open. Yeah. And guess what else? Steven Stallings won the Monday qualifier for the 3M Open.
Shot 61.
61.
Yeah.
Did he make the cut though?
Hey, he made the cut in the Barbasol, and I picked him.
That
so.
guy
And
did
Trace
not
Hurley.
make the cut.
No, I was
That
just curious.
okay.
I was just asking.
I thought you were salting something there.
No, because he shot what's like 60 or something in the Monday.
You know who
qualifier?
has the best salt on their chips?
Salsaritas.
I mean, their
Salsaritas
chips.
is
Those
the
speaking
bomb.
of the Stallings, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
and I'm looking out there right now, Miss Stallings. I appreciate everything that you do for the game of golf. Whenever you want to sponsor Loopers for Life, you
There you
just
go.
let us know. But they're I love those lime chips.
Hey, so
No, he did. He made the cut in the Barbasol, which
he did make the
I
cut in the
picked him.
Barbasol. He played well.
Actually, we had some local guys. Trey Shirley made the cut.
Right.
Barbasol, yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I don't in the 3M. I'm not sure he got through in the 3M. But,
No, he did not make the cut at the 3M.
Got it.
But you know what? His game is.
but he was on fire, man.
He
Because
is.
seriously, he shot. It was either 60 or 61 in qualifier.
He has
61,
had a
wasn't it?
fantastic year. I mean,
Shot
from his
29
play,
on one side.
qualify for any tour event, but he's qualified for a couple. Has been invited to play in a couple and has performed well on the big stage.
Yes.
There's no doubt that kid can play.
Oh,
Big lefty. Go Cats.
He's got a
Let's go
big,
Stallings.
big future, man.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of things going on in Kentucky golf. I mean, we had the Barbasol that was here. We've also had a PGA Tour event this week, the Kentucky Open out at Persimmon Ridge, and then we have the Olympics with the number one player from in America, Justin Thomas, captaining the four-person Olympic team, even though they're not playing as a team. But just a lot of things going on in the bluegrass. And what do y'all think about the Kentucky Open?
Well, I think it's great. It's the 50th year anniversary of Mo Demling winning.
There you go.
Wildwood, where he made a 40-foot putt. And then you got his grandson, Brendan Doyle, leading the tournament with a course record.
Right. Well, he's co-leading the
I
tournament.
thought co-leading. I'm sorry, co-leading
Yeah,
with
can't
Clay.
forget about Clay.
Yeah,
Amalong.
can't forget
Hey,
about
7
Clay.
under is straight getting it done.
You know, I
Right.
thought
Seven
they
ranks.
said that was a course record, and I actually texted Jesse Mudd about this. I thought Jesse shot 64 out there, but
I think
Jesse's-
there's going to be a 63 out there.
But
either
apparently it was
today
a
or
66
tomorrow.
years ago in
Yeah.
the United Healthcare tournament. But Brendan Doyle did not hit but one driver yesterday.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
One
probably didn't hit anything over a 7-iron either.
He had a 2-iron off
Yeah.
the tee.
Wow.
2-iron,
Or 2 driving iron.
2-iron and a wedge. I
Yes.
mean, and that's the thing about Persimmon Ridge right now. I mean,
it's playing
firm
short,
and fast,
yeah.
and it's just short. I mean,
And the
that
greens were
golf
soft,
course, when it first opened, that golf course was, without a doubt,
Well,
the hardest golf course.
when it
in
first
Kentucky.
opened-
No doubt.
When it first opened, they hosted the State Am and then the Kentucky Open. So
a very
99,
historic golf
91 or 89, they opened in 89, I believe. So they hosted the Kentucky Open in 90 or the Am in 90 and then 91. So Chris Haas played at University of Louisville, who's a guy I played golf with. Lost every golf ball in his bag and had to withdraw. There was no houses out there back in
No
those days.
houses,
So if you
and
missed,
heather everywhere.
yeah,
There was,
if you missed, if you know,
missed outside
yeah,
the car path it was going into.
yeah, I
the
think he
long
shot.
grass.
I think the lowest round the first day, like was something like Gary Hatchett with like a 76. or
Well,
something.
Persimmon Ridge
It was
is,
crazy.
over the years, I mean,
I'll
it's
have to
such
look,
a
but-
historic golf
Yeah.
course. I mean, and I know your ties
Oh,
there,
yeah.
Cousin T, with
Yep.
Uncle
Yeah,
Jack
oh, yeah,
being
yeah.
the primary
The
shaper.
namesake.
Yeah, primary shaper on that golf course, and had a lot to do with building that and the development that it is. And it is
Yeah.
a fantastic, home development. Still is. Homes are being built everywhere
Mm-hmm.
out there. Where they were going to build 36 holes, now it's just a full classic 18. Back in the day, though, when you were hitting mid irons and
Oh, man.
long irons into those greens, that golf course was
Man,
formidable.
I
So
remember.
I looked this up last night. How much you think it cost to join that place in 1989?
I saw that on Facebook. That was good.
Take a guess,
I
Steve.
don't remember.
$15,500.
Yeah. Well,
I saw it on
knew
Facebook. It, must be
expensive.
true, Teague.
Well, no, look, man. I mean, they built it to rival
Yeah.
Valhalla a little
Yeah.
bit.
Now the
And-
reporter who wrote that probably was on happy hour at Butchertown Pub,
Sure.
so I don't know how accurate that is.
Well, I tell you,
days.
I remember when it was being built. I would go out there every day because my dad and my uncle Jack were the main people out there doing it. It felt like it was the middle of nowhere.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was nothing around it, and now you look at it, man. It's a bustling area. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely in the middle of nowhere. And like I said, I don't remember what year the Am was. I think the Am was first and then the Open was second. But going out there and playing and feeling like, I mean, I don't even know if did the Gene Snyder even connect then back in those days?
Oh,
Then-
yeah, I don't
then you
think
have to
so.
get off
You
at
had to
Smyrna and
You
then
had
get
to-
back
no, you
on
had to
it.
go Shelbyville out to Flat Rock,
Yeah.
and then Flat Rock, and then you would go past.
Yeah, because there was no
the
O.
long
Henry
run,
exit.
and,
Yeah,
and you would get out there to Aiken, and what a crazy road that is. I mean, for those who are not from Louisville and Kentucky and have never driven out to Persimmon Ridge off. I think it's Bush Farm Road is where you originally turn on to.
Yeah.
Then it turns into Aiken. That is absolutely one of the craziest roads in Jefferson County. I mean, you have not only dump trucks, building trucks, lawnmower trucks, concrete trucks,
Yeah.
and then you got Porsches that are doing 80 and everybody's texting.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Well, I
whoa,
remember-
man, come on, bro.
I remember my father worked for a guy a little bit on the side
Weird.
that used to build houses out there. And I remember
Right.
I was driving a dump truck down Aiken Road one day. I mean, I was 17 years old, shouldn't even been driving this truck, and was going down Aiken, and another dump truck came, and our mirrors hit.
Oh, yeah.
And this glass just, like, that's probably what's wrong with me. It's made me walk in.
That's 17.
Yeah. But I
You
don't
were
know
still
what
in
it's-
the crash mode coming
Yeah.
right off the BMX bike circuit.
Oh, yeah,
though, at that point in
absolutely.
time. So, yeah, well, it's they're obviously doing some great work over at Persimmon Ridge. I mean, this is going to be a 3-time host site. So 3 straight years it's going to be there. They are building a short course that is right next, behind
Yeah.
the tees of 110 and 8 and kind of in this little area and on the side of number 9. Haven't came up with a cool name for it yet, but I'm sure they will. But there's going to be 3 new tee boxes there, 110 and 8. And if the tee boxes were to just get strategically placed on a couple of those par 4s, you could still have a great golf course to where you have the scoring opportunities where it's a 2-iron wedge on hole number 7 or something like that. But you put the 5-iron back in somebody's hand hitting into those greens, or the 6-iron, and get a couple of tees on 13.
Yeah.
Hole number 17, which I always thought was one of the great holes, par 4s, kind of got dog legs down the left. I mean, now that's a 3-wood wedge, Joey.
Yeah,
It's a 3-wood wedge, Paul. It's a flick.
I remember hitting.
They shot 65 with. I mean, and
Would you
just
see
flicking it?
Did you see the stats of how many eagles there were?
No.
Yeah, I got to give the Kentucky Golf Association some credit now. They take a bunch of pictures. They put a bunch of stats.
Oh yes, they've
Golf
done
Genius.
a fantastic job
Ethan
with their
Fisher.
social,
Ethan
right.
Fisher's the best thing that's ever happened to the KGA, and they put up all these stats. I was reading them last night, and it was like, I mean, the place 18. 18. Obviously, what do y'all think the hardest hole was to play out there? Come on, it's not hard to figure out which one it was. I mean, it's got the craziest green ever. It used to have 2 tees on 2 different sides.
Oh, number 4?
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 4 played the hard,
Yeah,
the only par 3 on the front 9?
Yeah, but guess
Wow.
what hole played the easiest, obviously?
18.
No, 3. 3 and 18, I think.
3 and 18, yeah,
3 and
par
18,
5s,
yeah.
right.
But 3,
What was the hardest par 4? Did you see
I
that?
didn't.
Well, I'm very fortunate, the Golf Academy being at Persimmon Ridge and being able to have access for our student athletes that come and learn the game of golf on that golf course because of the green complexes, it really does enhance the kids' developments and understanding of how to play a proper shot. And so you see, we're kind of like playing it all the time. You know where the hard ones are. You just don't know how the golf course is set up. And, I'll be interested to see how number 5 and number 13 and number 17, which I've always felt are the 4 best, or, 3 of the 4 best par 4s on that golf course.
Well, 17, I'm under the spider tree. I don't even know what that hole looks like. I mean,
number 9
is that tree
going
still
through
there?
the
Is that
chute,
tree?
I mean, I would think that number 9 playing through the chute.
It's gotten
still,
tight. It's gotten tight.
I mean, that has gotten tight. But
I mean, I'm going out there after I leave here.
the Kentucky Golf House, and what I was going with that, Lauren Just and her family and Elmore Just donated the land for the Kentucky Golf House. It's right there. You've been over there and walked through it, the museum and the golf history from the bluegrass. I mean, Gabe Brewer's Masters is in there, Masters trophy, all the Ryder Cup memorabilia, all the historical.
You got Larry Gilbert's golf
players,
clubs,
the Hall of
there.
Fame list, and what they've done with all those in recognition. I mean, it is such a fantastic building, and it's one that if you really like the game of golf, that you probably ought to go by and see at some point in time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, the thing is, a lot of people don't know it's out there. I've posted it up quite a few times, but if you're out in the area, stop in there. It's free. You just walk in there. Sometimes nobody's in there, and just look around. It's absolutely, if you love the history of local golf here in Kentucky, I mean, it's definitely
right. And I mean, and it's only growing. I mean, and as we go forward with all the great players that are coming from the junior tours and what the Kentucky PGA has done in growing the game of golf and through the junior golf associations and some of our fellow golf professionals, Chris Rettle, who is a PGA professional who is done an absolutely unbelievable job.
He has done a good job with that.
Absolutely,
he runs the Bluegrass Tour, right?
I mean, the Bluegrass Junior Golf Tour, and I would highly encourage any of our listeners or anybody that is interested to get into the game of golf and learn a competitive format to start there. I mean, it is such it's a great transition into it with the maximum score rules, and he just has done a tremendous job growing the game of golf. So, golf in Kentucky is strong. Always has been. I mean,
we've had some.
Always has been.
We've had some great players.
And I'll say Kentuckiana and include Fuzzy.
Yeah, you got to
include Fuzzy. Right.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the game is in good hands with a lot of juniors. A lot of young, really good players are doing really well in this Kentucky Open. You normally don't see that. You normally see these Kentucky Opens are kind of your seasoned guys that are pros that have been around and played a little bit. But, man, when you look at the top of this leaderboard, look at all the youth there.
Well, and I think that's where you see the transition into it. And Ryan even kind of alluded to that, on the Monday Q guy when we had him on a couple, 10 days ago, whatever it was. Those guys are used to shooting under par now. And I mean, Antigua, when they show up, that's what they do.
Well,
they know how to shoot 68, and they learn it at a young age. I mean, you can see it on the top of the leaderboards in the junior golf programs. The tour championship was just at Hunting Creek and the junior thing. And I mean, you got a 10-year-old that's shooting under par. Posting 9.
We were on the phone with Corey just before we got on. And Corey Kaufman's Josh's partner over at the Golf Academy.
He's my life
Y'all
partner.
keep talking. I got to take his phone call.
I'll take that phone call.
Oh, look, I'm in business.
Let's go. Hey, he's got a loop. I got to take his call, get a loop, dog.
But so Corey made the comment. He said, Yeah, it was one of your old guys. He goes, I got to follow him around and figure out why he shot that score. And I'm sitting here. I'm not gonna say what the score was, who it is, so you can figure it out. But
It was
I'm
only
like
a couple over par.
I was like, oh my God, that's a great score.
Right.
But he was like pissed that the guy,
Right.
You
Right.
guys expect these kids to go low.
Well, we train them to do that, and I appreciate you
Right.
saying that. I mean, and that is part of our academy development, and one of the things that we've really, Corey and I have looked at from the beginning when we first partnered together and started kind of doing the golf academy at Oxmoor Country Club when I was a head professional,
Yep.
and he was my director of golf,
Sure.
quote unquote, kind of like I'm his director of instruction right
Yeah,
now.
this
But-
idea was started a long time
but,
ago.
the training programs and what we have implemented and being able to have these kids, is just like any other sport and endeavor. If you're all in, you're all in, and you're going to learn how to score. I mean,
Yeah.
and the principle of golf is, yes, technique is very important. You got to hit the ball straight, but you got to get the ball in the hole.
That's it. You gotta score.
And even there, to what his point was, that was a great score. It's 2 over par. But that kid has the potential of being, way better than
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And where are those 2 strokes? Because the difference between +2 and even,
Yep, that's playing the extra day.
that's playing the extra day. That's exactly right. That's playing the
Mm-hmm.
extra day, and that's like on a Monday Q school, or excuse me, Monday qualifiers or college qualifiers, or going to a Q school and
Yep.
moving on. That's playing the extra day. You got to make those pars. You got to
Sure.
find out where those 1 or 2 strokes are. And when it boils down to it, Teague, I mean, at that level, it's always chipping and putting. I mean, your strokes gain is in just everything that's come out of that.
Sure.
But it's still just, where's that chip and putt at?
I remember some of my better events kind of my college days and right after my college days. I hit the ball. Actually, an event that I met was the medalist in, lost in a playoff in college. It's a big event. Georgia Tech was in it, huge event. I hit the ball horrible. Like, I didn't hit the ball good at all, but I made everything
Right.
on the putting green.
Right.
And it makes a world of difference. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it is.
The putter's the equalizer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and so, I think that you'll see over this weekend. I said Corey and I were talking in regards to the Kentucky Open. I think that it will probably be 13 to 15 under par. Is going to be what wins it in
Which
the
is
3
wild
days.
when you're thinking of
especially at
Persimmon Ridge.
Ridge. And I think that hopefully they're out there charting and seeing where some of these balls land on hole number
Yeah.
5, and
Yeah.
I drop all the great par 4s that are out there, and if they can get some of that tee length back, that golf course will again just quickly bounce up the leaderboard in the rankings. And I got to say, I did. Actually, we do get listeners, which is very important. Somebody was like, "Hey, Josh, how'd you leave off? How all 3 of you guys leave off Country Club, Paducah Country Club, off our top list? Have you ever played Paducah Country Club?
I haven't.
And I'm
Which-
sure Joey's
well,
been down there.
Which is, that's a really good point. They're actually a client of mine.
It is
So
such
I've
a
been
good
there.
golf
I've been there
course.
several times.
It is a good golf course.
And I've never played it, so that's probably why I left it off. But man, that place is nice, and
It
the
is
tennis
nice.
facility they have there, gosh, everything they do there is just top
Right.
notch.
It is top notch, and I mean, it is a beautiful piece of property.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of great holes out there, and I don't know if I sentimentally put Seneca on there, but if I did, I'm going to take them out because I know it's not better at J-Town
Yeah,
National, though.
that's right.
So definitely look forward to recapping the Kentucky Open and all the TGA student athletes. I got Clay Amlong overall, so I'm going with the leader. I'm going to take one of the TGA guys, low pro Mitchell Moore, going with another guy who's joined the Golf Academy and all the great work that he has done down in Hopkinsville,
Yep.
or in Kentucky. I mean, he's a teacher of the year. One of the goals that we have, I mean, personally now I'm plugging the Golf Academy right now, sponsored by the Golf Academy.
go.
Is
Yep.
to continue to put together a network of coaches that are looking to get kids to the next level.
Okay.
And how they're going to do it is through, our concept of let's ball out.
Oh yeah.
I mean, here's what you got to do, and you're going to do it. And everybody's at a different stage in this game, and sometimes it just hits. And as you know, playing competitively,
Oh yeah.
and as Joey knows, being in the ropes as a caddy, we all know that golf is hard, and you're going to have peaks and valleys. And how can you walk and level out and make those 2 strokes and shoot even par? That's the key.
I
to this
tell you
game.
what I needed when I was playing, because I had all the opportunity. Opportunity is huge, right? Having the opportunity to go play and practice, I had that.
Right.
I had the, being a fourth generation and two uncles professionals, my dad being a great player. I had all the tools and I had the skill. What I needed was Betty. I needed the mental piece.
Right.
If I would have had that at a young age, it would have changed everything for me.
Well, she's so good, and and Betty Krager is somebody who has been very involved with the growth of the golf academy, and she partnered with Corey. Corey and her kind of got together when they were over at Oxmoor prior, and she was the right hand man, woman,
Yep.
Fuzzy Zeller, and teaching for the local community for 40 years. I mean,
Yeah.
and she's still
And at one point was the top woman player in the world.
Well, and what she has done for the game of golf is incredible. And there's somebody that we were talking about, the Hall of Fame, who I feel like will be in the Hall of Fame
for sure.
at some point in time. But she continues to work with elite athletes in all sports fields. I mean, this lady works with people in horse racing.
Oh, I know.
I mean, and she, the equestrian, like the ones that are bouncing up and down and doing the little trot horses, and then, she races chariots on the side. I mean, she is like
crazy.
Miguel Jimenez of Kentucky golf and of ladies golf too.
I had her come do a deal. So I coach a high-end travel baseball team that does really well. We were U-Trip Team of the Year this year, and I had her come in and speak to our team, and it was things about where do you breathe in when you're pitching.
Right.
What is your breath doing when you're up at the plate? It was things that I'd never thought about. And it was kind of mind blowing of some of the stuff she put out there.
Some of the stuff that she learns from all these elite athletes.
Yep.
She was at camp yesterday. I got a camp that's going on, and she told all these little 8-year-olds, "How much water are y'all drinking? It's hot as can be here in Louisville, Kentucky." And then she explained to them, the cup and the 12 ounces that elite athletes drink. 13 cups of these a day.
Yeah.
And I mean, and so you're like, wow, that's a lot of,
that's a lot of water.
And then she goes on and and when they pee, they look down and it's clear. It's not dark yellow. And and I'm like, you're talking to 9-year-olds, Betty. But she is, one of the great things that she does with our student athletes, and we're going to move on right here, but I definitely want to say this, and I always admired this about Betty when I was a head professional, not involved in coaching. She would organize within these tours of how to go about getting recruited, how to go about making a college choice. And she has done that with not only golfers, but, I met somebody who was a St. X track and field guy. I mean,
it's everything.
It's everything. I
it's
mean,
every
it's
sport.
Equestrian. I mean, and she works with
she
NBA
has a video.
players.
She has a video series out.
Straight Shot Inc. Let's.
Yeah.
Hey, this segment is sponsored by
there you
Straight
go.
Shot Inc.
You're welcome, Betty. But she's got this video series out that's incredible. If you've got a kid who wants to figure out how to play college sports, you need to look into it because she helps you kind of take that roadmap and she guides you the right direction.
Fantastic. And again, quickly, she will be in the Hall of Fame. That's for sure.
No doubt.
And deserves it with everything she does.
Nominate her?
Huh?
Sorry about that. That was a gentleman's club telling me.
Is that right, David?
Was that Rustic Frog?
No, it was not Rustic Frog.
Hey, do you want to close out this debit card?
Leave your wallet.
That was the Olympic Committee. Like, Joey, guess what? On channel 99999, there is the Olympic pole dancing.
No,
You could get that on Spectrum.
Hey,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Listen.
I'm telling my Rustic Frog story.
We will get there.
So anyway, did you nominate her for the Hall of Fame?
We're going with Betty.
Is she in the local?
She
Right.
Hey, who you taking for Kentucky Open? We already got Josh's pick.
I'm going with Brendan Doyle, man, and then I'm going with Brendan Doyle.
That kid can play. I'm going to go with one of my old buddies, a guy that I came up playing with that's lurking right now. He's actually out. He's 2 under today, so I got a little bit of a insight. I'm going with Brandon Brown.
Yeah, good point.
Brandon can play. Yeah. Shelbyville boy, ain't he?
Yep.
Yeah, hit Shelbyville boy. And
Played a lot
is
with
in
him
Shelby
growing
County, or is it in Oldham County?
It's
or Jefferson
listen,
County?
There's actually part of it in Shelby County, and there's part of it in Jefferson
remember
County.
it was in
so if
the
you cannot,
one part.
Is one part of Shelby County dry?
Not anymore. But
Okay.
I mean, when
there used to be a time when there used to be a time
There
when,
was.
there was always a little looper box to where you could go over and be like, oh, I'm gonna get me a little Jack Daniel.
You can't drink on hole 3, but once you get on the green,
Right.
you can.
Hey, this is a good segue. We're talking about drinking. Joey, did you see the Grayson Murray tweet?
No, I didn't.
So Grayson Murray is a tour player.
Okay.
He's been out there for the last, I think, 8 years and maybe 5 years. Well, he came out
I'm just glad we're not talking about my drinking.
bashing the PGA Tour because
About-
it's made him an alcoholic.
Wow.
Well, I could see that.
because he's like,
Really?
I got to pay my caddy every week. I got to pay my travel. I got to pay my entry fee. And
Well, then maybe if you stop
and I'm
buying
not
alcohol,
making-
you'd have money to do
Well,
that.
That's easy solution right there, Pods.
it was interesting because it was this whole thing. And he's like,
I
the
got a
PGA
caddy
Tour
story.
hadn't helped me at all, and it's turned me into an alcoholic. You ought to see the comments. Like, you know what,
Are they
dude?
just calling him a
come
yeah.
trade with me at my
Yeah.
factory job.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's see how much better
yeah,
that is.
when you're putting car parts on it Ford, you're an alcoholic. I
Right.
mean,
I mean,
so I got a caddy story for you. A guy I used to caddy for. All right, so there's nothing like. I mean, it wasn't a staff bag because it was kind of a buy.com tour type thing. So not like you're carrying staff bags because who in the hell's watching?
Sure.
So I used to have to carry around a bag of oranges. You want to know what was in the oranges? Vodka. You take and shoot them up with a syringe.
Sure.
And just let they would get big and fat, so they would get real heavy. I wouldn't carry the whole bag. There might be 8 or 10. Well, I guess there's 8 or 10 in the bag. Let's just say it was heavy. And used to take vodka and just sit there and just pump them full of vodka and just eat them on a golf course.
Yeah.
I didn't. He did.
Yeah.
But so maybe it's the same guy. No, it wasn't him. But,
It wasn't
but I'm just
him.
saying,
Well,
hey, look, you want to be an alcoholic? Play on the old buy.com tour. That'll make you alcoholic.
Amen.
Well, I
well.
mean, and it's just the daily grind. I mean, but I like what you said there, Teague. I mean, how he got bashed by everybody.
Well, he should get
Yeah.
bashed by everybody. Why
I mean,
would you
this
even
guy-
tweet
yeah,
some?
right.
I mean, I've tweeted some dumb stuff in my life.
I tell you what it is. I guarantee you the guy came from privilege. Yeah, I'm sure he's never worked a day in his life. He's got a ton of
what's his
talent.
name again?
Grayson Murray.
With a name like that, yeah, he
he's
came
got
from
a
privilege.
ton
This
of
guy
talent.
didn't.
Right.
And it's one of those things where, man, you were missing reality here, bud.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, best of luck to him. Hopefully, he gets his
Yeah.
his drinking under control. I mean,
Well, maybe he
but
needs-
at the same time, I mean,
Yeah.
make some cuts too, bro.
Well, exactly.
So I'll
and
help
he's,
you.
And he's talking about how he hadn't made a cut in 2
Yeah.
years or something. It's like, well, I mean,
and he's
He can
blaming the PGA
he's
Tour
blaming
for his drinking problem.
because they haven't.
Well, you know
helped
what?
him.
That's the problem with, and I'm sorry if anybody out there is an alcoholic, you want to shoot me, but most alcoholics are selfish people, and they just want to blame everybody else anyway. So, I mean,
Well, and-
excuse me if that offended anybody, but I'm just
Well, I mean, that's why they know that.
I mean-
they fix themselves.
well. Hopefully,
I mean,
hopefully he
and they're
does
some of
fix
the
it.
best-
Hopefully he does it.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure I
that's-
got half the world coming at me right
No,
now.
that's all
or
right,
at
but,
least
I mean,
8 or 10 people here that. But
Nah.
They'll, the ones that do it, and I mean, hopefully
That's
that
why
he
you
wants
carry a
to get
bag
out
of
there
weed
and
in your
do it.
bag,
Oh,
not
there you
freaking-
go again. My God, getting a censor. We were just on Apple
There we
Podcasts.
go again.
Here we were on Apple Pod. I know we're in the bluegrass. I know you're an old looper. You had to step away. I mean, it's weird. That
I'm
you're
probably
having
the only-
He's having these phone calls. Hey, Pods, I gotta go real quick. I mean, my gosh, man. Oh yeah. And then he was gone. Did you hear the door ring? I mean, he may have went out there. I mean,
He was out there
let's
long
move
enough.
on. So, hey, we haven't talked, and we're going to quickly wrap this up because I mean, there's a lot of things that we got to do today, but we haven't talked about the Open Championship at Royal St. George's. It was a fantastic win, an American win. Colin Morikawa, who is obviously playing some of the greatest golf in the last year. I mean, he has had some big wins through the COVID and coming into it. And Louis Oosthuizen putting himself into position again, coming up, runner-up. What'd you guys think of that? Did you make out of it? One thing that was really disappointing about this Open Championship is
It was boring.
it was the Scottsdale Open.
It was
It was the
boring.
Scottsdale Open. I
It
mean,
was boring.
it was global warming at its truest effect right there.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was.
and so it was although you get the quirks and the bounces over there, and
Yeah.
Royal St. George's is one of the bounciest golf courses on the Open rotations.
Yeah.
I tend to
mean,
find that a
these
lot of
guys-
people don't like Morikawa.
How do you not? Is it because everybody talks about he's the next Tiger? But
I don't know. I like the guy.
I don't like that. I think everybody
either.
wants to be the next Tiger. Oh,
Well,
Justin Thomas is the next Tiger. Jordan Spieth was the
Nobody's
next
going to
Tiger.
be the next Tiger.
Ricky
we'll know
Fowler
when
was the next
we'll know when the. Remember when they were like
Well,
Scott
Colin
Verplank's
Morikawa,
going to be the next Nicklaus.
Hey,
I mean,
Colin Morikawa has some. He has some pedigree. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy's a 4-time first teamer All-American in the NCAA. He's won 2 out of his
He's
first
the youngest
4.
youngest to ever win 2
Right.
majors.
I mean, he's
Young-
Is he
I mean,
really?
he
young-
is
How old is he?
22.
He's straight out of
23.
college.
look, I mean, I like this guy.
that was
Yeah.
his 4th major, and he's won 2 of them.
Two out of 4. You're right. I mean, that's pretty solid.
Yeah,
It's
I
real
but I
solid.
heard
That's
so many
good playing.
people like, I don't like this guy. I'm like, well, how can you not like?
Well, it was. I mean, you know what he did
like-
is he played a very tactical game, and that's what you need to play in the Open Championship,
Yeah.
especially when you're
Well,
there.
he's such a good iron player.
Yeah, and Utah's I mean, again, you know,
How do you not like that swing?
he kind of got wayward with his driver again. I mean, you
He-
know, that has
hey,
cost him.
I
That has
tell
cost
ya.
him every tournament, going back to when he was partnered at the New Orleans with his boy
Do you know what he shot final day?
on
in
the
the
Open.
Mm-hmm. Utah's
74,
Nah,
wasn't it?
I don't know.
1 over.
Yeah,
That's
1 over.
Choke City, man.
Well,
He
I
had
mean,
that
that's
thing
solid.
won.
What did he shoot on the final day at the next week at the 3M? I mean, he shot 65. He came
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what I like about it. I mean,
I think
you know,
he needs to blame the
he
PGA
just kept
Tour
on playing
for his
should.
runner-up
He
finishes.
should.
His
It's
runner-up
their
finish.
fault.
I mean, can
But
he tweet
Colin
that?
Morikawa, I mean, what he's been able to do, and now, you know, he's on the Olympic team. And before we get into all the Olympic stuff, I mean, you know, we've had all these withdrawals through COVID. You've had also, too,
I mean, there for a minute, I
withdrawals of-
thought you were going to get a phone call.
well, no, not
No.
yet. But I mean, you know, withdrawals coming from the gymnastics. I mean, that was crazy in itself
Oh,
last
God,
night.
yeah,
I mean, you
that's-
know, that was drama.
That
and,
poor girl's getting bashed on
well,
Twitter.
I know it's just like you're about ready to get bashed or get
Well-
arrested. I mean, I don't know which one's going to come first. But I mean, hey, you know,
Whatever
hey,
happened
I
outside.
got a loop dog. I got to go. But you know, I think that like Colin Morikawa
That was too much Mexican last night.
coming in and you know and all the COVID stuff. I mean, John Rahm. Let's talk about John Rahm. Are you kidding me, Pearl?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
what are you
oh
doing?
God. I mean, let's.
How does
like,
John Rahm have this?
Yeah.
This is the third time, bro. What's in Spain?
Get
I
vaccinated.
mean,
homie.
no, he's been vaccinated.
Are you sure?
He said he was. Yeah.
So then they got the Delta.
So let me ask you: if he's been vaccinated, why are they testing him? I thought they stopped testing everybody that was
Well,
vaccinated.
they keep on
no,
testing.
the
and
Olympics
testing.
are testing everybody.
Oh, because
But I mean, you know,
yeah.
in the sense of
You know,
like,
I think would they say that they should? Who else went through?
Bryson DeChambeau.
Somebody said
Yeah.
that they should put Rahm and Bryson with the two Chinese guys over there and give them that stuff because that's where it came from to begin with.
this guy, loopers for life. We will no longer be podcasted on Apple, nor anyway. You're
Hey,
just-
so the Olympic story of the week for me is the Sung J M and the Siwoo Koon story.
oh, no doubt, Teague.
That's the story.
Yeah.
Do you know what's going on there?
Yeah,
Jerry?
they'll
gotta
end up
have
in the
a
military. If now look, here's the deal: we're coming down the stretch, and I'm playing this guy. I'm hitting three in the water just so he ain't got to go in the military.
Sung J M.
So tell the story so our listeners
J M
know.
has already done his military time.
No, but both of them in the same boat. So if it takes in a medal for either one of them to avoid an 18-month military
right,
mandatory service,
right,
which
and I
which
mean,
could possibly ruin their career.
And Siwoo Kim
Oh, for
is
sure.
the one. I mean, you know, and he's been playing in the best out of the two, and obviously Sung Ji M has some pedigree from a couple years
they
prior.
both are great.
But I mean, yeah, they're both playing well, and I mean, you know, and all the pressure that's not only you know to go forward from that, but just think about all the Asians that are over there. I mean, Japan has you know Hideki Matsuyama. And his tie to this golf course is huge. I mean, you know, he's had 2 wins that have been really, you know, what made him a major winner to put him into that category. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine the pressure on that. But at the same time, there's no greater chance to get it done. I mean, you're kind of in your home area, and I think it's going to work out well for him. I definitely see Siwoo Kim getting a bronze.
So
I got him getting a bronze. So I mean,
are we going?
I'm going to be pulling for
well,
one
no.
of them.
Let's talk a little bit about the Japanese history of the game of the golf. I mean, you know, we're gonna spend about 5 more minutes right here, and then we'll pick and we'll roll this thing out and get out of here and start our day. But you know, this golf course, it's Kasamagasaki Country Club, is one of the oldest clubs in Japan.
You have pronounced that right?
Yeah, I mean,
Did you
know,
really?
I did.
How long did you practice that? on
I
the way
didn't. I was just. I
He was in the
couldn't read
car
it.
going, how's it pronounced?
Kasamagasaki.
He was in the car, Kamasakakaki, looking in the mirror.
That's right. So it's a classic golf course. It's from it was built in 1929. So I mean their ties to the British as being colonized. British basically went over and colonized the whole Asian continent over there with their navy back in the day. But this place was redesigned by a guy who is C.H. Allison, and he was a main partner of the Holt McKenzie Allison firm that built all the great golf courses of the world, really. I mean, and so this golf course is a top 50 in the world, got ranked in 1978. Tom Fazio came in and redesigned this place, but it has historic ties to just the growth of the game of Asian community. And really cool fun fact about this, and I definitely will watch this over the weekend before leading up to the final round. There was a big three that was played there in 1967.
Oh yeah,
player
I actually seen that on YouTube.
Did you see?
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to watch it.
So I'm going to go back and watch it. Just
Yeah,
so I can
and
see
so
the
they
golf course.
say that this Allison guy is kind of like, he was the McKinsey of of Asia, and like McKinsey went to America and kind of went to Australia. This guy stayed in Asia, and and Allison built some of the great golf courses in England. So really, it's going to be a great look and a tremendous test. I mean, they've 7,600 yards, 71, no cut this week.
Yep.
So again, that's a big thing. You have 60 players that are in the field. Again, no team competition, but everybody wearing the stars and stripes and whatever. And I think it's going to be a great golf tournament.
All right.
It's going to be something to watch. And so I'm excited to see this place. I mean, they've held for everybody, that I alluded to earlier, and if you don't know, they held the Asian Amateur, the Pacific Asian Amateur. I think it was the first one, and that was where Hideki Matsuyama won and came to, Augusta the following year in 2011 and finished as the low am. So he's got some feel-goods coming in. He could have one of the biggest years ever of any Asian that has ever played the game of golf.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. With a Masters win and a gold medal.
It'd be awesome.
I mean, could you imagine that?
He'd be a hero over there.
No doubt. And so, getting into the field this week and you look at it, I mean, you're playing for country.
Yeah.
Definitely this is a golf course, if you have some local knowledge, it's going to play off. I mean, back they hosted the Canadian Cup way back when, like in 1955. I was like,
Man,
their
you've
first-
done some.
I
history
always
digging
do
here,
some
don't you?
research on
Yeah,
this. but-
his research is
but-
always this, and I show up
Yeah.
with a bottle
But
of
I mean,
water.
you know what? I
And
mean,
then I pick a guy who don't even play in the British Open.
The Canada Cup,
And that was a joke, by the way.
The Canada Cup, the Canada Cup is something that was now is the World Cup, and I mean, and it was one of, and so the team of Snead and Demerit, who had 10 majors going into this, got beat by a Japanese team.
Who was the players? Come on, you had
You want me to
had
go
to do your
this?
research.
I got to get my
Good
phone
luck.
out. Huh?
Good luck pronouncing.
Oh yeah, I got it right there. So I mean, it was Japan. It was Nakarama and Ono. Yeah.
Yoko?
Who is the greatest Japanese player ever played?
Jumbo Osaki,
Yep.
Ah, nice answer.
Yep. That would be
Nice.
mine.
Tommy Nakajima, and Jumbo Osaki.
Jumbo's the only one I knew.
Asoy Aoki is the only one that has ever won on the PGA Tour.
Really?
The only one.
You mean Jumbo never won?
Jumbo never won on the
Wow.
PGA Tour. Asoy Aoki was.
I've
the
actually got a
first
set of
one.
Mizuno.
1983 Hawaiian Open.
Really? He
Yeah.
is the only Japanese.
He
guy?
was the first. Yeah, and
That's crazy.
Could you imagine showing up? That guy shows up on the putting green with that putt with that.
How about
with
Jumbo though? I mean, Jumbo was such a good.
Oh,
story
Jumbo
back
was
in the day.
yeah.
If
I mean,
you don't know Jumbo, you gotta look this
the
guy
first
up.
big driver was the Jumbo. I mean, seriously,
right, right. Was it a Wilson?
No, it was Mizuno. Might have been not. I don't know.
It
what
was a
Jumbo-
Mizuno. No, it was. He was a Mizuno.
I'd have to look
guy.
it up, but I've actually got a set of TN87s at home, Mizunos, which were Tommy Nakajima, but whatever. They're basically MP29s. They just put
Well, Jumbo
TN on.
Osaki had 94 wins on the Japanese tour. So, I mean,
94.
94, and Asoy Aoki had 51. So he was the second. And then you come in Nakajima. And then what about Osaki's little brother?
Yeah.
I mean,
give me
Naomi.
a second. What was it?
Huh?
What was his name?
Naomi.
Was it Naomi?
Yeah.
Really?
Naomi
I would've thought
Osaki.
something different.
So,
Listen to y'all pronounce all this.
hey, we got more coming. I can't wait. This is fun. I mean, but it's this golf course is
I mean,
a
I would have
classic
thought it
golf
was
course.
Dumbo, Osaki, and Jumbo.
Dumbo.
It's Jumbo, though. I mean, he was
no.
the
How
man
great!
that-
I mean, that guy was cool.
He
That
always
guy was
played it,
actually cool.
and he always made the leaderboards at the
Yeah.
Open too. I
And
mean,
he played
that's-
well at the Masters one
Yeah,
year
he
too.
did play well at the Masters. So,
Yeah.
and and this is like obviously the dominance of the sport for the women's side, and not having it on the men's side, but having some big things, kind of like what we were talking about with South Korea team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is going to be a good event, and I'm really excited.
I'm intrigued, man.
I'm excited.
I mean, so who do you think has the best? Who are you picking? How about that? I'm curious who you think the best American is going to be, the top finishing American.
Well, we got four, and we had Patrick Reed come in as a quick sub, so he's Captain America coming in, and you got JT, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa,
Yep.
and Patrick Reed.
Right.
you look at it across the board right there. Obviously, the homer in me is going to say, JT, let's bring us back in the
He said all the right things.
And he has performed in no-cut events better than anybody in this field.
Okay.
He has 9 of his 14 wins have come in no cuts, something like that. Or excuse me, 4 of his 9 wins have come in no cuts.
Interesting.
And this guy does his homework. Man.
Yeah,
I gotta get on the ball here.
9 of his 14. I said that right. 9 of his 14
wins have come in no cut
events, and he's had 4.
Wow.
He's had 4 wins in Asia.
Okay.
He's had 4 wins in Asia. So this guy plays well over there, adjusts to the time.
Wow, that's interesting.
I want to see it. I want to see this guy.
You're
get
swaying
back.
me.
So JT, I mean, that's a huge fact. I mean, and I mean those are these that's coming in now. I mean, you also got to factor in too. Both the 2 other guys, Xander and Colin Morikawa, both had Japanese descent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, and so they're kind of playing
Sure.
a home game.
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's going to be hard to pick against him. And honestly,
Is he picking the whole field
I
again?
am not. No, I am picking the whole field, but I'm going to say this: I want JT to win it.
Yeah.
I
Well, everybody,
personally
we all
feel
want JT to
like
win.
though. I personally feel like Xander's going to be the best one, and he's going to make a step, and he's going to be the low American. That's my pick.
Shoffley's my pick as well.
Low
Shoffley's your pick.
American.
I think I'm going with Reed just because he hates everybody. Everybody hates him.
He's such a good replacement. If they couldn't, I
And
mean, the world picked a great replacement for Bryson DeChambeau. Do they not, Joey?
Look,
I mean,
Yeah.
Look. I want to see Justin win.
Of
All right.
course.
I'm going with Reed just because nobody likes him. He doesn't like anybody. It's a individual Olympic. Hey, I'm Captain
he's
America.
such a-
Let's
I
just
like
shove it in everybody's face.
I also think the Canadians are going to do well.
Well,
Corey
your boy.
Connors is my
your
guy.
boy. I
Yeah.
mean, you picked
I
him
think-
during the Open
yeah.
Championship, and he had a T15. So,
I think
that
Corey
was-
Connors is going to do well. And then there's a I think he's from China. Carl. I wonder if that's his actual name. Carl Yuan, Yuan. He's actually a Korn Ferry Tour player. Does really really well out there. He's got some ties to the golf course. I think he'll do well too. He's my long shot.
Well, I'm going to have to look at it, and I'm going to go with somebody that's in that way. And what I mean by that, they're on that wave from
I know who you're getting ready
Asia
to pick.
to Australia,
Oh, no,
and
no,
I
no.
am going with the best mullet in the field. I mean, an unbelievable go pitcher opportunity. Cameron Smith from Australia. He's been playing fantastic golf throughout the year. I think he's got that Aussie mentality that they kind of, have played over on these tours and has these feels for these type of golf courses, and can handle that hot heat. That's going to be hot and humid. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they've been forecasting. So I like Ozzy. I like the Ozzy right there, Cam
so-
Smith with the mullet.
The catcher.
I
on
like
my,
Cam Smith.
I do too.
the catcher on my baseball team. He
Reminds
says
me of Cruising Dixie
he's
Highway.
growing a mullet. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "No. It's a sophisticated mullet."
Oh, that's
what,
right.
That's
Hold on,
what,
wait a
that's
minute. Is that
what he's
what
got going on. It's called a sophisticated mullet.
Well, how do we define and sophisticated?
I'm not
mullet?
sure.
Is
To
it
me,
like
it's
you,
a mullet.
when you
Right,
got
look
it when
at
you got a sophisticated mullet? That just means you don't peg your jeans. Is that? How that
I
works?
don't know what it
Hey,
means,
hey,
but
that means that
that's
you
what
don't
it.
cut-
That's
yeah,
the
you don't
mullet
cut your
Smith's
knees out.
got going on.
Don't cut the jeans out. So, I definitely think Cam Smith's going to play well this week.
Yeah, he
I
can
like
play,
him.
man.
And I kind of like that Corey Connor. pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
he steps up in big events. And
Yes, he has.
I mean, I'm going with these two guys so they don't get themselves killed in the military. But
Well,
you know what? It'd be hard to root against them, honestly.
I mean, I'm telling you, I know this is unpatriotic, unsportsmanlike.
it's
but
also
I'm coming down the stretch and I got to make a putt to beat one of these guys. I'm going to toe jam it and misread it.
that ain't gonna happen though.
I think,
know it's not.
I'm going to give you a sleeper. And again, my sleepers are always you can't buy them for anything. But I mean, I think Rory McIlroy plays well this week. And the reason being is that he declined in 2016 when it was at Rio. This is his first Olympic appearance. I think he's playing for Ireland. I don't know if it's Northern Ireland or
Yeah.
Ireland, but I mean, whatever he's doing, I would say his form has been off. He hasn't had that big win, but this is his time of year. And
Such
I
a
mean,
great
and it's
swing to watch.
Such a good
I'd
player.
love to see him get back
This
in
is
the
a big
form.
boy golf course. You got to drive it, and you got to
Right.
hit it into the. It's a second shot golf course. I mean,
Right.
that's what they say. Allison, he was famous for second shot golf courses and big, huge bunkers that look, wide and tall.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it'll be good TV, and I would say he's going to play well this week, and it would be a name that I'm going to go with. So my top 3 in the medals, I'm going to give you right here. Xander Schauffele,
Yep.
right? Hideki Matsuyama wins the gold. And then I'm going to go with on the bronze pick is going to be Siwoo Kim. That's where I'm going.
Didn't he just say he was going to take Rory?
No, I said I was.
He's
gonna
already
take
picked the
Cam
whole
Smith.
field.
I said I was going to take Cam Smith.
What we're going to do is we're going to start copy and pasting the whole field and just put it up
that's
here.
right. Put 'em up
and then
there.
just be like, these
There.
are Josh's picks.
I'm going with Hideki though, making it.
I'm going with the two guys who need to avoid the military, and then I'm going to go with Patrick Reed. Ends up winning the gold medal, and the whole
Going
world
with
hates
Clay.
him because one of these guys. Do they got to win just a silver, or they got to win a bronze and a silver?
Yeah,
Keep from going into the military.
They got a medal.
They just
Okay,
gotta-
all right.
One of the top three.
Somehow Patrick Reed's going to screw this up, and then
Let's
and then
go.
we're going to end up with just a week
Let's
of
go.
Twitter, and then everybody, and then somebody's going to blame. Somebody's going to blame the PGA. This one guy's going to blame the PGA Tour, and it's just going to be.
Why was Pat Reed in there? I mean,
Yeah,
this guy.
It's going to be like, you let Patrick Reed in, and this guy can't get in the military. Actually, it's going to be Patrick Reed's going to. It's something crazy.
Patrick Reed's going to be the reason these two guys
something like that, and somebody's going to get a cease and desist letter. I mean, this is going to
The
be
best thing about it is it's going to be Pat Reed. He's going to call penalty on one of those
Yeah,
guys.
see, that's
He's
what's
gonna-
yeah. It's
that's
going to be
call
that. It's
penalty
gonna,
strike.
the
He's
guys,
like, hey,
the
you
guys,
moved your
yeah, he's
ball.
going to be like, you move the sand back or something. Something controversial is going to happen here, and it's
Well.
going to involve Patrick Reed.
All right. So I'm taking Shoffley, I'm taking Thomas Peters, and I'm taking Corey Connors.
All right, there you go. There's your top three. We got his top
Now my
two.
guys are playing that I
I
did
got
pick,
Clay
right?
Amlong. You got
I
Brandon
got
Doyle.
Camille. Is Camille
Brandon Brown.
Vegas
No,
playing?
he is not
We're
playing.
coming back on Amlong, Doyle, and Brown on the Kentucky Open. Everybody, thank you very much for listening to Game 14 Loopers for Life. We really appreciate it. We're growing. You can check us out on our media pages. Loopers for Life on Facebook. We got Loopers for Life on Twitter. We're on Apple Podcasts. Go ahead, Teague. What else we doing?
All right. So this one time I was at Rustic Frog, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
No, tell it.
I can't.
Ribbit. Ribbit.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. I thought that place was like a restaurant. I didn't even know.
Ribbit.
Yeah.
They had
Uh-huh.
a $2.99.